What if I told you the cash in your wallet, the digits in your bank account, and that Bitcoin you keep hearing about are all based on a shared hallucination? A story we all agree to believe in. From the first barter systems to the mind-bending potential of the metaverse, the story of money is the secret history of human civilization itself. And it's a story that is far from over. But before we unravel the 10,000-year journey of how we got here, do me a huge favor. If you love stories that change how you see the world, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single moment. This is one you're going to want to talk about. Now let's rewind time. Imagine you're a farmer 9,000 years ago. You have too many goats. Your neighbor has too many wheat stalks. You need bread, he needs milk. Simple, right? You barter. This was the earliest system. But it was messy. What if he doesn't need a goat today? What is one goat really worth in wheat? You need an intermediary, a common measure of value. And so humanity got creative, really creative. We used things that had inherent, recognizable value. Cowrie shells were beautiful and durable. In Yap, they used giant limestone discs called rye stones that were so heavy, you often didn't even move them, everyone just knew who owned which stone. Salt was so valuable for preserving food that Roman soldiers were sometimes paid with it. That's where the word salary comes from. But even these had problems. You can't easily carry a giant stone or a herd of cattle to the market. The world needed something better, something portable, durable, divisible, and shiny. Gold and silver were perfect. They were rare, they didn't corrode, and they were universally desired. Around 600 BC in Lydia, modern-day Turkey, they did something revolutionary. They stamped a picture onto a lump of electrum, a gold-silver alloy. Around 600 BC in Lydia, modern-day Turkey, they did something revolutionary. They stamped a picture onto a lump of electrum, a gold-silver alloy. This stamp was a guarantee of its weight and purity. The first official coin was born. This changed everything. Empires could now pay their armies consistently. Trade exploded across continents. Money was no longer just a tool for trade. It became a tool of power and control. Kings and emperors would often debase their coins, shaving off a bit of gold and adding cheaper metal to fund wars, effectively creating the world's first inflation. But carrying sacks of gold across continents was dangerous. So, we told ourselves a new story. In ancient China, and later in medieval Europe, goldsmiths and merchants started issuing paper receipts for gold they had stored in their vaults. People began trading these paper receipts instead of the heavy gold itself. They were more convenient, and everyone trusted that the paper was as good as gold. This was the birth of representative money. The paper itself was worthless, but it represented a promise of real value. This trust was everything. Eventually, governments took over, creating central banks and standardizing currency. The US dollar was once directly redeemable for gold or silver. But what happens when that promise disappears? In 1971, President Nixon made a monumental decision. He completely severed the US dollar's link to gold. Suddenly, every dollar in the world was backed by nothing but the full faith and credit of the US government. This is called fiat money, from the Latin for let it be. Its value comes only because the government says it has value, and crucially, because we all believe that story. This system gave governments immense control over economies, but it also created a new problem, a central point of failure. What if a government prints too much money? What if you don't trust the government? For decades, we had no alternative, until October 31st, 2008. In the wake of a global financial crisis caused by banks and centralized systems, an anonymous person or group named Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper. It described something called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. It wasn't controlled by any government or bank. It ran on a decentralized public ledger called a blockchain, verified by a network of computers. For the first time, we had decentralized digital scarcity. Money could be sent anywhere in the world, without permission, without a middleman taking a cut. This wasn't just an evolution, it was a revolution. And it sparked an explosion. Thousands of cryptocurrencies now exist. We have concepts like DeFi, decentralized finance, that aim to replace traditional banks, and NFTs that are creating new forms of digital ownership. We're even talking about central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. government-issued digital cash that could track every transaction you ever make. Which path will we take? A future of total financial freedom or one of ultimate government control? The story of money is being written right now. We've gone from weighing barley to mining digital coins on the internet. The form of money changes, but its essence remains the same. It's a story of trust. Who and what do we trust to hold our value? And that brings me to my final questions for you. This is the most important part of the video, so listen up. I want you to tell me in the comments, what comes after crypto? Do you think physical cash will disappear in your lifetime? Are CBDCs a good idea or a scary step towards surveillance? I am genuinely fascinated to hear your theories and opinions, and so are other viewers. Let's get a massive discussion going down below. And if your mind is even slightly blown by this journey through the evolution of money, if you learned something new today, then you know what to do. Smash that like button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe for more content that decodes the world around us. Hit the notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop a new video. The future of money is uncertain, but your next video doesn't have to be. Subscribe now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.